All right, everyone. Actually, give me a second. I need my calculator. Okay, so anywho, welcome. This is your fourth assignment. I know it's been a while since we had a homework assignment, but here it is. I need a calculator here just so I can show you guys. Okay, so this one says Avery and Colin were trying to challenge each other with equations for sequences. Avery was looking for an explicit equation that Colin wrote, right? So write the first four terms. So since this is an explicit equation already, you can actually find the answers really easily by putting in the numbers, and you don't have to find out the one before that. But since we need the first four terms, we need that first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. We can just put in term 1, term 2, term 3, and term 4. So we put 1 right here. That means put a 1 right there. So using our calculator, that's going to be 4.5 parentheses 1 for term 1 minus 8. That gets us negative 3.5. Okay, if we want to do term 2, just type it again. And then instead of 1, we're going to type in 2. That's going to get us 1. And term 3, instead of 2, we're going to type in 3. That's going to give us 5.5. And term 4, instead of putting in 3, we just got to put in 4. Just like that, guys. So just type in it just like how I have it. We need to pause it because I'm going a little fast, then pause it. And that's going to give us 10. So this is the sequence. What would Avery do to write the 15th term in this sequence? Right? Easy. He just has to plug the 15 into this T of N. So I would say Avery just has so Avery just has great lag time, guys. So Avery just has to figure out T of 15. Yes, it's that easy, which is equal to 4.5 times 15. And then take away 8. Okay, so we're not going to do that because it doesn't ask what the answer is, what the 15th term. It just says what would he have to do. So you just have to figure out this part right here. Write a recursive equation for this sequence. So recursive, you can start, remember, with any term you want. I'm going to start with term 1. So I'm going to go T1 equals negative 3.5. And then the next term is Tn plus 1 is going to equal the previous term, T1. And then we're going to go ahead and figure out, okay, what's the pattern? How do you go from this to this, right? Or 1 to 5.5 or 5.5 to 10. Okay, easiest for me is the 1 to 5.5. It looks like I'm adding 4.5, and it tells you right there. So all of these are adding 4.5. So it'd be T1 plus 4.5. So it's whatever the term was before, all you're doing is just adding 4.5 to it. Okay, write both an explicit equation and a recursive equation for this sequence right here. So let's see what the pattern is, right? Because so we have 5 to 8, looks like adding 3, and let's see, is it the same? 8 to 11. Yep, that's adding 3. 11 to 14. So I think we have the pattern, which is plus 3. Okay. So the recursive is T, and this time I'm going to go ahead and do the third term. So T3, and look at it right here. The third term is this one right here. That's the third term. So I'm going to go T3 equals 11. And if I want to find the next one, it'll be T of n plus 1 is going to equal T of n. And I'm telling you, they're always going to look like this. And then what's happening is you're going to add 3. That's the recursive. Okay. Your explicit, this is the best equation right here, is T of n. And remember, the explicit is basically just a y equals mx plus b, right? And we use this because these are adding the same thing each time. This is an arithmetic sequence, so we can use this. So for this, in order for this to work, explicit is first you got to figure out the pattern. The pattern is a plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, so it's a multiple repeated 3. So your slope is going to be 3. So the explicit is going to be 3x or 3n instead of 3x. We can put 3 in. And the plus, and then we get the b is going to be the 0 term, right? So 0 term is going to be the one that comes before the first term. So what number comes before the 5, right? Well, to do that, you have to go backwards, which means you have to subtract 3 instead of adding 3. So 5 minus 3. So the number before the 5 should be a number 2. So that would be the 0 term. So that 0 term is your b. So that would be a 2 right here. Okay, so that means that your equation for the explicit term is y equals 3x plus 2. But since we're writing it like that, it's going to be y equal, or t of n equals 3n plus 2. And that's your explicit formula. Okay, the bottom and last one, compute the following products. So this was just back to the previous chapter, just to kind of get us a little practice with what we had done before. So this is a 4x plus 5. I'm going to go ahead and write it like this as an area model. And just for those of you guys going into Math 2, you will need to know and be very good with area models. So let's go to practice. So 4x plus 5 and 4x minus 5. So this gets you 4 times 4 is 16. X times x is x squared. 4 times 5 for this box here. 4 times 5 is 20. And then no x and x makes just x. Negative 5 and 4x is negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. And then no x and x is going to be x. And negative 5 times positive 5 is negative 25. Okay, when I'm putting it all together, you'll see that both of these have x's, and they will actually cancel out because they're both opposite of each other. Negative 20x, positive 20x. So my answer, if this is my answer as a product, then my answer as a sum is going to be 16x squared minus 25. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing here. 4x plus 5, and that's squared, which means that that really is 4x plus 5 times another 4x plus 5. Okay, which means I'm going to do a 4x plus 5 times another 4x plus 5. Because there's 2 of those. I'm going to move this over a little, just a little bit. Okay, so by doing this, to find out what's in here, see how I have the 4x and I have the 4x. So 4x times 4x is going to be 16x squared. 4 times 4 is 16. X times x, there's 2 of those, is x squared. If I want to find out what's in this box, this is going to be this side times the other side, which is right here, and that's going to be 4x because that's the same size. So 4x times 5 is going to be 20x. Okay, it's pretty much going to be the same as the last one. This one's going to be a little different. Okay, when I want to find out what's in here, okay, I need to go and figure out what's on top, which is 4x, because it's the same as that right there. And then what's on the side, which is the 5x, or the 5. So 4x times 5 is positive 20x again. And if I want to find out what's in here, right, oops. When I want to find out what's in there, you have to use the positive 5, because that's what that is up there, times a positive 5, because that's what that is right there. So positive 5 times positive 5 is 25. That's pretty much it. Now you just got to put it all together. So, and notice that the two that I circled in green earlier, right? Those are not going to get to be canceled out. Right? So these two, they're like terms. They're both the same kind of x's. They're just x. But in this case, they're not opposite. So my answer for this one is going to be equal to 16x squared. 20x's and 20x's are going to be 40x's. Okay, that would be great. If you don't know that, you can put plus 20x and plus 20x, and that would be fine. So here, let's actually do that. So if you don't know that, and it's okay, you can put plus 20x and then plus another 20x, and then finally you have plus 25. Okay, but better answer is if you make it 16x squared plus 40x, because 20x